This is Red, White, and Bluegrass.
This week, lawmakers continue their Kentucky version of the Make America Healthy Again effort. The task force taking on this mission held its second meeting on Thursday. Much of the focus was on SNAP benefits. That's a program, at least for now, that's federally funded to help people with low income buy nutritious food. President Trump's budget reconciliation plan will make a lot of the changes to the program, which in June was used by more than 562,000 Kentuckians.
In June, $96 million worth of SNAP issuances that is currently federally funded. As the commissioner mentioned, with the passing of the H.R. 1, there could be for states some cost sharing that will come into play.
Be joining remotely.
Lawmakers also heard from beverage industry leaders and officials supporting Kentucky groceries about access to healthy food and how much SNAP benefits are spent on snacks and soft drinks. Part of President Trump's budget bill also creates a work requirement for a larger part of SNAP recipients. Representative Brown, I'm going to start with you here. You're not on this particular task force, but as we start looking ahead to 2026, what information do you want to see come from it that may inform your opinion on how much support the particular program SNAP will need from the state?
Well, I think it depends on what actually happens with the SNAP benefits from the federal government. The federal government has been heretofore in the process of sponsoring SNAP benefits and distributing SNAP benefits around the country. If we don't have those benefits in Kentucky, the question is how much money can we put to feeding the most vulnerable people of our society, children primarily.
Representative Gordon, what are you going to be watching for?
It's a very valuable program to many people, and there's many families that do depend on it. And I think the goal is to make it the most robust that it can be, so the people that need it, that it's there. I think the dollar average right now is about $5.50 a day, and so that doesn't go very far. And so when we're looking at spending that money, we want to make sure that they're getting the most nutritional food that they can, and that it's going to the most deserving.
On the most nutritional food aspect of that, a lot of this discussion was centered around soft drinks and so forth. Does the state actually have the power to directly say what you can and cannot buy with SNAP, or should it?
Well, I think it's a question to ask, because we know that these things contribute to the detriment of someone's health. And so in essence, looking at it in that light, we're essentially contributing to the problem, and then we're paying for it on the back end. It leads to greater obesity, comorbidities with other illnesses. And so I think it's a very fair question, especially given that it's taxpayer dollars that we're using for these programs.
You have any thoughts on that?
I think we got to be careful of being in the kitchens and the homes of the citizens that we serve. I think we're trying to provide the services that are good and best and right for our people, but I think we got to be careful of overstepping and overreaching in terms of telling people what they can and cannot purchase.
There were some policy proposals that were at least floated during that discussion that, there's no actual bill, being put together yet from my understanding, but I'm curious how some of these proposals at least land on y'all if they were to be brought before y'all during the 2026 session, such as an additional tax on soft drinks or processed food, or even subsidies for healthier foods among those policy recommendations. How do those land with y'all?
During the 24 campaign, we talked about reducing prices and reducing what people spend at the grocery store and what cost of goods are. And I think we've got to be careful with that. We don't need to put additional taxes on it. It might be something that we consider and have a conversation about, but I think that at the end of the day, it is about trying to make living more affordable for Kentuckians.
What about you, Representative Gordon?
Well, on that front, great news. Egg prices are down. Waffle House has just taken off their tax on eggs, and so again, we just need to be wise with our resources. We have encouraged the amount of your money that you spend at a farmer's market is, we have double dollars. We've done legislation to encourage schools to buy nutritious food from farmers. All of those things are going to lead to better outcomes, and can a lot of times be delivered in a more judicious manner and less costly.